Frank, start.
How are we, mate?
Mate, this is all new. I restream all this music and the graphics coming up. I turned my computer on the first time today since whenever we done the last video. As you know, waiting for the updates. I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right, mate. It's been a crazy couple of months, mate. It's been a crazy month. I'll tell you that. I went to every single England game and got very into it all and enjoyed the ride, mate. I enjoyed every second of it, to be honest with you. Coming out of all the dramas that we've had in the world of late, and then getting involved in something like that and going on that journey, it was exactly what was needed. But it was some high, mate. It was fantastic, but I'm on a serious come down now, and I am desperate for the new football season to start so I can try and get a little bit of that buzz back again. So yeah.
Mate,
what about you, mate? What you been up to?
Working, and I've got one here, funny enough, and trying to get over that. I went to Wembley the same as you. I went to the Germany game on the Tuesday and tested positive on the Friday. So
I was going with 5 people. I think every single one of them's tested positive with it, other than me. So I'm just immune to the COVID, mate. So it's all good.
Everybody I know who's been has also tested positive.
Really?
To be fair, I was all right. It wasn't that bad. I've not been jabbed or anything. I'm not a anti-vaxxer before people start thinking that, but I'm also going to wait a while to see how the vaccines go, what the results are like in a year or something, and then I'll look to have it done. But for now, I'm just going to get by. I've got the antibodies in me now, they say, so that's all right. I'm still off work. I'm not allowed to go back to work until all symptoms have passed, and I still keep getting headaches, which they told me is probably the Delta variant, which is what they think I've got. So I'm still signed off work, sadly, but it is what it is. It's better to be safe and not put anyone at risk.
No,
I'm more interested, though, mate. What's in them boxes behind you? Are they West Ham's new transfers? You got to deliver them yet?
That's the new kits. I've imported them from China.
Oh yeah, I think I've heard about that. I think I was advertising them for Chris Stowe as well, apparently.
That's it, mate. New kits.
And that's the reason.
Shipped them in.
And to be fair, that's the reason why I opened up a new Twitter account yesterday. And thanks to everybody who ever's on here who started following and sending messages already. The reason being because I was getting too much interaction through my business account and it wasn't for the right reasons. So that's why I've done it. My last account I deactivated as I wanted to come off. I wasn't blocked. I wasn't reported nothing. But again, thanks to everybody who's sent messages.
How long is it going to last, mate? That's the question before you're banned again.
I had a report this morning for something. You know, someone.
We should have a sweepstake, really. How long will Baz be back on Twitter for?
Mate, so there's always a few that don't like what I've done in the past or the attention I've got from what I've done. But let them have their opinion. I say, I didn't do it for any other reason than what the rewards were that the little girl got and a bit of banter when I was pissed at Mark's testimonial. And that's it. You can have whatever opinion you want. If you think it's a competition, you're a clown, in my opinion. Yeah, but, mate, back to Wembley. We've
got a few boys here, mate. Look, let's just give the guys a bit of attention. Look, been a long time, guys. Glenn Marshall, thank you, mate. Liam MCC is back as well, mate. He's actually thinking about us too the other day. He missed it. He's just got off work now. I get to see you two. Great stuff. How have you been? We are good, mate. Very, very good. Had a nice break from the world of West Ham Twitter and YouTube and everything else. And yeah, it's been a bit of a, I don't know, mate. I don't think it's going particularly well out there, and I'm certainly not enjoying any of the content that's out there at the moment. So we thought we'd jump back on and give a few updates as to what's happening with fundraising for Isla. But we will also in this video give you a bit of an end of season review from last year, and then also expectations for our European tour that we're all about to go on, which is going to be a lot of fun. And also Rob here has said, good to see you back, boys. Baz has got his passport out. That's what it's all about.
Don't worry about it. It ran out
mate,
of date.
But one thing...
Mate, the passport ran out of date in 2010 and I ain't renewed it, so don't worry.
You ain't going nowhere. Mate, one of the most important things is I would just like to tell every single person on here how right I was when I said that the only guarantee in football is that David Moyes with a full season gets you relegated. So how right was I called it, and all of you now need to eat humble pie because I was spot on.
Do you know what, mate? This is a difference, right? When we put things out, and I'm not going to criticise everyone here, but when we put things out, like we said about Antonio, we can also say how wrong we was. We don't delete the content and get rid of that because we said something different here. Man enough to say got it wrong. But I'm gonna make a bad call here, and people are gonna call me a defeatist, a negative, whatever. I fear for next season. I really do. And the reason for that is because the amount of games. I thought we was lucky last year with suspensions and injuries. Apart from Deck towards the end of the season, we got away with centre midfield. We watched Lanzini come in. We know Lanzini's injury record now. That's not great. I fear if that's going to be a replacement. I thought Connor Coventry done well last night. However, I don't believe the manager has him in his plans. So I do fear for next year. We know with Antonio, especially if we don't not getting replacements, I hope and I pray to God I'm wrong. And I hope this time next year I'm sat here and I turn around and say,
to the question, Baz, that I think we all need answered, because we got here before and we went and signed probably like 11 players, I think it was. And we signed your Zazas, your Fagulis, your Gokantores. We signed a lot of players that didn't last very long, but we kind of did that because they had experience of European football and tried to bulk out the squad. But would you want to see squad players for the sake of squad players, because we know we're desperately going to need squad players next year? Or do you think the kind of Moyes attitude of I only want to sign a player if they're right is the way forward? But my fear is if we don't have that squad bulked out, that the strain that European football does put on you from the travelling, from the extra games and everything else, a lot of teams fall foul of getting into Europe and end up having a really bad season. And actually, mate, you can put yourself in a real poor position that you end up in a real sort of relegation battle. So I'm worried with the squad we've got. It wasn't strong enough to get through a full Premier League season, let alone get through a Premier League season and also get through a European season as well. So,
but again, mate, and as fans, we say all the time, it's like a cup run. We'd love a cup run. Could you imagine if we done well in all three, in the two domestic cups and Europe? It's going to pay toll. It's going to pay its price. And we know what Antonio's like. He'll play 8 games and he'll miss 6. Then he'll come back. And we ain't got the replacements to put in. Jared Bowen done all right when he went up front. But the football club, sadly, ain't got the strength in depth. And it ain't me being negative, being a defeatist, nothing. I'm not saying that. I hope I'm wrong. I really do. I hope and pray West Ham finish 6th again or better and make the final of every single cup they play. I'd love that. I'm not wishing West Ham to do bad, but I just worry with the strength and depth, with the amount of games, with the travel. Now, it happens to the best of sides in Champions League football. So it's going to happen to a squad like West Ham in European football. Arsenal have paid price. Arsenal didn't qualify for Europe. Because I think in time it's caught up with you. The players leave. The squad ain't big enough. They don't have enough strength in depth. And for me, I do fear. And that's nothing against the manager. It's nothing against the players. It's nothing against the coaching staff. The blame for me for that is with the ownership. And they knew in May that they had a European campaign ahead. Don't tell me now that they're just about to sit down to talk about transfers.
But it weren't about even May, was it? What you do, mate, is you get to 2/3 of the way through the season, you see it's a possibility, and you start making plans for it then.
But you know what?
Because it might happen.
And the season before last, when we went into the lockdown, and there was that chance we was going to could have got relegated. I said it then. They was planning for relegation with their signings, and I think they would have sold. That's when that bid come out. Now there's another bid for the club come out again. I don't believe the spill. It doesn't make me right. It's just my opinion. I've said this forever. When people say to me, "Oh, didn't think you was a West Ham fan, no more. You don't go." Rub it. I'll support West Ham for the rest of my life. I'll always love them. I cannot give them owners my money. That's as simple as it is. Do I miss it? 100%. Do I think it'll make a change? Of course not. I get more investment and enjoyment giving my money to Brockenhurst Football Club than to West Ham. That doesn't mean I wish West Ham bad. I still want them to do well. No one was more happier than me for West Ham finishing 6th and qualifying for Europe. I hope we got 4th. But reality, for me, is it ain't a place I want to spend my money, and for that reason, I won't.
Yeah, so what do we do then, mate? Do we go and sign bulk players, or do you think we should only sign players who are first team players? Do you sign players for European football like we did before? What's the answer?
I don't think, if I'm honest, and this is going to sound, again, negative, and I don't want to be like that, don't think it matters because I don't think we'll be doing. I don't think
You
there's the
don't think
money.
we'll sign anything?
I think we'll sign something, but I don't think the money's there to do it, to boost the squad. We will get budget players. You know, if anybody was any good at them Euros, who we might have been interested in, the price would have now doubled. That's bad business. You know, and that's why I don't think we'll get it. If we had £60 million to spend and we was going to buy three £20 million players for argument's sake, and they was at the Euros and done all right, then 20
Yeah.
million players would now be 40. So what are we going to do?
Yeah, no, I get that, mate.
You really-
And there's obviously been a lot of talk around Connor Coventry, mate, and he's looked all right in pre-season. But you know, he's not even been getting a look in for a long time. He's not the youngest anymore, mate. And we would have expected him to be breaking in now. Connor Coventry surely isn't the player that we're going to be relying on for Premier League football and European football.
No, possibly not. But maybe he's the man who's going to come in and play the FA Cup games and the Carling Cup games or whatever that cup is. Maybe he'll play the few league games against, with respect to the lower teams in the division against them. Maybe so you can rest people like Rice and Surchek. But you know, if he ain't part of the manager's plans before, why is he now? The only reason he will be now is because there is no one else coming in, and there ain't anyone else to come in either. He's only going to be pushed there. And I ain't convinced, and I'm really not, that the manager ever had him part of his plans, in my opinion. I don't think that. And I think he's forced to have him now. And if that's the case, I think that's a bad move because that's desperation.
Is there a bit of an issue, mate, as well, that we can foul a bit sort of guilty here of only looking at players thinking we need them because we've got European football, and actually players who seem to stand still, not improving their Premier League squads, go backwards as well? Should, you know, after a really good season last season, really and truly, we should be then, you know, kicking on as a club and saying, right, we've got European football. We can then attract even better players for our first team. You know, we want to improve on what we did last year. Why stand still?
100%. And you've got to look at the forwards. You know, we've got Antonio. What we should be doing now, as well as he done, we should be going out signing a proper centre forward and putting Antonio on his toes and not be comfortable to think I'm the centre forward every game, no matter what.
I think giving him the number 9 confirmed that, mate.
And that's it. But that also confirms to me there's not going to be a top forward joining the club. That's what that tells me as well. Because he's going to be made the star forward. Which, if he was fit, if he had a fitness of someone like Thomas Surchek, it's fine. But he doesn't. He is an injury-prone player, sadly, and you have to remember that. And I think we'll be in trouble because we'll miss him, and we'll put makeshift players in. You know, I think Ben Rama will have a big input to play this season, and I've seen that. But all that's going to do is cover Lingard. It's not an addition, is it? It's just a replacement. And that's what I think we do wrong so many times. I think that comes from the top of the football club because there isn't the money to invest. So I don't blame it solely on the manager. But I will say, and as well as David Moyes has done, and I'll forever say that, I don't believe, and I've said last year, to take West Ham forward, David Moyes is the right man. Because, in my opinion, any real ambitious manager right now would not be sat down to have a transfer meeting. That would have been done at the end of last season, and you would have had players in ready to go back pre-season. We haven't, and it doesn't look.
We've gone on about it loads of times about Leicester. Our fans continuously compare how we run our club to Leicester because Leicester's so well run. But mate, the business they've done, we spoke about it the other day, is unbelievable. To go and sign probably one of the best striking prospects in European football in Dakar, who's been electric, mate, for under 20, what was it, under 30 million? I can't remember. Was he 27 or was he 18? Let's have a quick look.
I think it might have been 17 and the other guy was 24. I remember.
I mean, what business that is, mate. 23 million they've paid for Daka, mate. I mean, that is unbelievable compared to what we paid for Haller and Anderson, who were never these hot prospects. The geezer's 22 and scoring for fun. And I know he's scoring in the lesser league and whatever, but mate, you've still got to put that ball in the back of the net. What a signing that is. And the business was done and dusted fast. As soon as the season ended, mate, they went on and got their targets. Job done.
Mate, think of Leicester as well. Who's their number one forward?
Well, Vardy.
Right, exactly. Last season, how good was Iniacho when he stepped in as well? And
he done well. He did do really well.
And now they've added another one to improve.
Yeah, that's right.
Even more. And we don't. We've settled. And what we'll do is, and it's no disrespect to an example, we'll go and get a player from the Championship or League One, and you can come in and be our backup forward.
Mm,
We're not going to say, right, Antonio, we need this person out to keep
yeah.
you on your toes. You're our number 9 now, as he's been made. The slot's yours for every single game until you're injured or out.
But it's actually what you just said there, mate. It's not about necessarily improving the first team. It's not necessarily saying Dak is going to come in and be our number 1. But what it does is it makes Iniacho continue his form and fight for his place. And at the moment, Antonio knows if he's fit, he starts. There's not a single other player. Don't matter if he don't score. Mate, I told you I was having a bet every single game for the last 4 games, having a bet on 1 shot on target, Antonio. Mate, 3 games, he didn't have a shot on target. Not did he just not score, he didn't have a shot on target. You know, if you've got Daka sitting on the bench, you can't get away with that because you'd be hoiked out. You'd be saying, no, we've got a man here who's ready. You know, if you're not doing it, and that's the problem. But Russ has said here as well, mate, look, we never kicked on in 86, 2006, mate. After 86, we got relegated. So many of those years there when we've had good seasons, you know, if you don't, it's not just about kicking on to go and achieve things. Anyone who stands still, anyone who stagnates, you end up in big trouble, mate. And you know that 86 season, we ended up falling apart after that, and it's such a shame. So it's not just about not kicking on; it's about always trying to improve and always trying to bring players in.
And look outside of the box, right? This is how I look at it. And mate, before anyone says anything, this is my opinion, and I'm just thinking outside the box. Jesse Lingard done brilliant for us last season, and we done brilliant to finish 6th. Would Jesse Lingard have signed for West Ham if we were 15th last season and there was no Euros ahead? I don't think so, personally. I think he would have probably gone to a club, maybe like Leicester, where he would have been playing and doing well, in my opinion. Now,
Yeah,
his loan spell's over, and we, as fans, a lot of fans want to re-sign him. The football club should want to re-sign him. If you're Jesse Lingard, because he sees what we see, and he'll know more because he'll be friends with the person. If you see the publicity day in, day out that West Ham cannot secure and look after their biggest asset at the football club and their best player, why would you want to sign for that club and commit to it 3 years, 4 years, whatever to him? Why,
yeah,
as a professional footballer, would you want to join that?
yeah.
You
No, I
wouldn't. In
agree.
my opinion, you wouldn't. And this is
Yeah,
why I don't get why people have turned on Lingard and made comments. Move on. His loan spell was amazing for us. Amazing. I don't blame that man for not wanting to sign for West Ham. What's he going to
no,
do? Sign and then watch Declan Rice leave? Potentially.
yeah.
Now, is that what's going to happen? Because our football club, our owners cannot look after, and let's be honest here, Declan Rice is West Ham's biggest asset. They don't own anything worth more than him.
Mate, not only that, but what you just said, the importance of getting your business done early is so important because, mate, things change. If I was Declan Rice now and I wanted to be the highest earner at West Ham, whatever that may be, 100k, 110, 120, whatever it may be, after them Euros, I'd want 150, 160 now because he's gone and proved himself to be one of the best out there, mate. And I wouldn't, mate, I don't like money grabbing in football. I don't like people who, you know, are only in it for money reasons. I think there needs to be more loyalty around in football now. I think, you know, we don't see it anywhere near as much as we did, mate. And in the old days, people would play for West Ham for nothing because they loved the club. The point is, I don't think Declan Rice is being greedy. I think he just wants what he deserves. And
I
that's a
think he
big
wants
difference.
respect. That's it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a very big different thing from being money grabbing like Arnautovic was. Arnautovic was out and out mercenary money grabbing. That's what that was. Declan Rice, all he's saying is, pay me what I deserve to be paid. That's it. He's not
And
asking
that's
for any
what it
more
is.
than that.
And when you, at that point, and I use this, you know, we've seen the reports come out, and he was offered less than Yarmolenko, who's a 10, 15 game appearance subsman. Why
Yeah.
would you offer the club captain who plays every game, who's just come out of the Euros, less? But all right, in fairness, I think this contract was offered before the Euros. But
Yeah.
it's just come about now. But, you know, why would you offer him less than that? Initially, that offer. So I don't know the figures, and I'm not going to state them because I don't want people to start saying I've been told this and that. But let's say it's 100 grand, right? That Yarmolenko earns, or no, 100 quid, and Declan Rice is on 50 quid now. If West Ham approached Declan Rice and went, right, your new contract's going to be 75 quid, why would he want to take that? Knowing there's a player there that's a sub that plays for 6 minutes a game when we need him, earning quarter more of his wages a week. That's
Mm.
insulting. That's showing disrespect. Why would you want to commit yourself to that football club? And
Yeah,
let's
it's
be
a weird
right
one.
here. Despite all the stories you've seen today, all of them, we've had this in the past. Not one of them has said Declan Rice has asked to leave. Not one.
Yeah,
He hasn't handed in a transfer request. What he's asked is to be notified of any bids.
yeah.
What West Ham are silly with, mate, and I've said this many times, he is West Ham's biggest asset. He's worth more than anything that football club have. They don't own a ground. He's worth more than their ground. They've got Chad Waleef. Can't protect your asset, you're in trouble.
No,
That
that's right.
that boy earning, let's say he wanted, again, for argument's sake, £500,000 a week. Him signing a new contract for 500 grand a week only adds to the value that West Ham Football Club would get for him and him. But they're stupid because he could quite easily say now, "No, I'm not signing. I'll play you for the next 2 years," and walk away for nothing.
Yeah.
And they don't earn a penny out of him. So if he leaves, it's only because they've allowed him to go. And
Mate,
this
but
is
it makes you wonder. It's just so weird. We can go into the ins and outs and the possibilities of this. It just don't make sense, does it? Because like you just said, you know, if you're a business and you've got someone who is your biggest asset, whatever it may be, if you own a company and you've got someone who brings in £1 million a year in sales, you've got someone who brings in 100 grand, but the guy is on more money per year salary, bringing in 100 grand than the guy who's bringing in 1 million. It just don't make sense, mate.
it's
It's
wrong.
like anything. Huh?
It's
It's
terrible
weird,
business.
but
Listen,
what
mate,
it is forget about terrible business, mate. It just is. You can't even comprehend the reasons why they would feel that this was the right thing to do. It don't make sense. It don't make sense the first offer. It don't make sense that they haven't just gone gung ho to get him signed in.
but
It
there
doesn't
is
make
sense.
sense.
But you know what the sense is, mate? The sense is what they've done to Reece Oxford. The sense is what they've done to
I ain't
Declan
buying
Rice.
that because it's a very
No,
different
just one sec.
story.
No, I know, but it was what they've done to Declan the first contract. It's what they've done to Ngakia. They put it out there, make sure it gets out there. It's not like now. Pete, I've seen tweets today. People calling Declan Rice our captain. The man wants to leave. Hang on, he's not asked to leave. He's been asked to be notified of bids. There's a big
Yeah, but
difference.
mate, what
They
makes you
put it
wonder
out there
is
to make them look the
they've
players
tried it
look third
before. They
party.
tried it before, so they can lowball someone into taking less than what they need to actually pay him. But the problem is, it's backfired the last however many times. So if it backfires before, you wouldn't take
You
that
won't
risk with your
gamble.
most prized
No,
asset.
no.
You wouldn't gamble it. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Anyway, mate, moving on. Declan Rice, Calvin Phillips. Which one was your main man from the Euros, mate?
I thought they were both brilliant. And before the tournament, if someone had said that's our midfield, you'd have probably sat there and gone, "Oh, there's not a lot about them two." But I thought they were fantastic together. I thought they were brilliant. I'd love to see him in a West Ham shirt next to Declan Rice. To be honest, I thought he was very good, Calvin Phillips. Um, I think Deck got subbed a few times, if I'm honest, because I think his body language makes him look tired. We watch it as fans, mate. After 22 minutes, or for argument's sake, Deck could go on one of his runs he does, and he sat their hands or stood their hands on the hips puffing. But that's Declan. He's the same in the 89th minute. His levels don't drop, but that's his way. If you watch Phillips in the first minute or in extra time, the 120th, his body language was always the same.
Yeah, it's
Obviously, he
true.
was feeling it, and I just think that's why Deck was subbed. I don't believe he was knackered. I think he's a proper fit lad in that respect. And
Yeah, mate, I actually I agree with you, but I do think that mate, they've told you, Bielsa tells you, anyone who plays for that man tells you, you need he checks body weight before you
yeah,
train to
yeah,
make sure, and if you're not on that body weight, you don't play at the weekend. I do think Calvin Phillips is probably a fitter machine than Declan Rice is, just because of the regime that he has to go through with Bielsa, as opposed to Declan Rice. I said it to you, I don't think our fitness levels have been higher. I think they've been so much better since the new fitness coach has come in and since Moyes has come in. I do think we're a much fitter side, and I think that really helped us last year. And what it actually is showing at the moment, mate, with modern day football, and now you have a little bit of this prima donna soft attitude that a lot of these players have, and this modern day attitude in general life, to be honest with you, not just in football, but in general, it does show you that 100% commitment, battling, fitness is paying off. And that's not just in the Premier League, mate. That was shown in the Euros as well. The teams that had that level of commitment, dedication, fitness outshone the players who might have been individually better in terms of their abilities. I think, football is one of them things right now that if you can show you've got that bit of grit about you and you've got that determination, you've got that fitness level, mate, it's going to bode really well. So, yeah, mate. Declan Rice, Calvin Phillips, they both shone at times. Sometimes they both went a little bit missing, but both were overall fantastic. And mate, what a partnership that was. I do think that sometimes maybe they were a little bit too samey. We didn't have that one who could break out and be really creative and get the ball moving forward faster and maybe sort of open teams up a little bit. I think it was a little bit slow getting the ball forward, and I think that stemmed from them really. So, but all in all, they were good.
I think that's a manager's problem as well. Because
I agree.
At the Germany game, don't get me wrong, great result, done well to win the football match, 100%. But that first half and first 40 minutes, you can see, as soon as the ball got to the level of Phillips and Rice, they went sideways or backwards. And then it'd come out to one of the wing backs, then it'd come back across the defence. There was never a number 10. And that's why I blame the manager, even down to the final. I think Gareth Southgate's done fantastic for him.
He got it wrong in the final, mate. He got it wrong.
I do think that.
He did get it wrong.
And to play the 3 that way again, he should have had a 10, in my opinion. Who was central, who would carry the ball and create chances. And I think he got it wrong a couple of times like that. Overall, a fantastic tournament. They've learned how to win a semi-final. They've made a final. They're not going to want to have that feeling of losing the final again. And I think they'll learn from it. I do think he needs to be a bit braver, Gareth Southgate, in my opinion. This is nothing against him, which I think he's a top player, but I don't know how Mason Mount stayed on the pitch as long as he did in the final. I thought he was missing, but I do believe Gareth Southgate has his favourites as well. Deck coming off, I think, caused us problems. When he brought off Trippier and he changed the shape, I thought was a bigger problem. But I think what Gareth Southgate has done for English football is fantastic, where he's got that connection back, which I think we were missing for a lot of years. So let's.
It still didn't spark quite as much as I thought it would, mate. I said when we got to the semi-final, I thought there'd be flags everywhere. The car flags would be out again. Houses would have their flags up. Euro '96 was something special. It didn't spark the same as Euro '96, and that might be because of the way the world is and the restrictions and so on. So I think, but I actually think it's more to do with just we don't have that bit of pride that we used to have in who we are and what we are as a nation. And I was hoping that would have achieved that. And unfortunately, from some of the silly, ridiculous claims that were made afterwards, it was. I actually think the games that I went to was the most diverse, was the most mixed personality and nationality that I'd ever seen at England football matches. I thought it was unbelievable. I think it did more for bringing people together than anything has done in a very, very long time, of all cultures, races, and as a nation. And then to say there was racism, which majority come from out of the UK, for me was just ridiculous. And mate, I think football is such a big advocate for bringing people together. I think that's what it does. And I cannot wait to get back over to West Ham again, because what it does, mate, is bring us all together. And I know, you're stepping away because of not giving money to Gold Sullivan, and I respect that and I appreciate that. But there's nothing better than I could think of at the moment is getting back to West Ham, meeting my pals again, getting in that pub early doors, having a drink, having a chat about West Ham United Football Club, singing Bubbles again, and getting back into a season of European football, mate. I am absolutely alight. I'm buzzing for it, and I cannot wait. I'm so excited, mate.
Yeah, and I'll make you completely right. And I'm gutted that I won't be there. Properly gutted. But I'm a man of my principles, and I stand by that. I will still go out there and have a drink with people before. I was lucky enough to go the other week, thanks to Dad's on the pitch who invited me when he had a charity game. He asked me to go up and manage one of the teams, and I walked in there, and I was stood inside, and I looked round, and it hit me, and I thought, I'd love to be here.
You go in a club shop, you get a few souvenirs and that.
Mate, I love, and I've seen the tweets. I love them new kits. Do I think the box around the Betway's right? No, I don't. But I ain't going to sit and pull it apart.
Mate, they are the best 2 kits we've had in a very long time.
They're beautiful, mate. The third kit's
they're really good.
Comes out. When you see that third kit, it's beautiful, mate. But I think last year's third kit was lovely too. I won't give them my money. I'll wait until Sports Direct have got it in for 20 quid, and that's where I buy it from.
Yeah.
And it's sad. It's horrible it's come to that. It is. I hate it. Mate, West Ham are my life. And every day still I look out for what news is happening, what's coming, blah, blah, blah. But I just cannot put my money into what I think is their scam. I really can't.
Yeah. Rob Willis said new kits don't compare, in my opinion. And don't get me wrong, while they are the best we've had in a long time, I think it's because we haven't had great kits for a long time. I do. Is it enough of a nod to our past? Probably not, but I just think they are that the home kit, the fact that it is sort of, resembles that Di Canio kit when he scored his amazing goal, and from that era, mate, it takes me back to those times, and I just like it, mate. I just really, really like it, and the old BAC kits as well were fantastic. So I'm glad they have done a better job this time round than they've done in the past. So I'm still positive for this season, mate. I'm still looking forward to it. If for you, what's the priority this season? Because obviously we're in 3 cup competitions and also in the league as well. We ain't going to be able to do it all. We're barely going to be able to get through the Premier League if we have the size squad that we've got at the moment, because we've let Balbuena go and we've let other players go and we haven't replaced them yet. So I think we're going to struggle. But what would your priority be? Do you want to see us try and have a bit of a European run? Do you want to see us go for a cup because we could win one? Or do you want us to make sure our Premier League safety is the most important?
Me personally, for me or for West Ham?
For Mr. Baz Cox.
For me, I want our priority to be Europa, FA Cup, and League Cup. I hope we get to the final and win all 3. That's what I really, really hope. And I don't hope this. I really don't hope this, and I don't wish West Ham relegation. But I think if that happened, that could help move the people on the own the football club. So I believed that before. I don't think they'll leave until they're either relegated or they own that ground and they can sell it with a bit of land. But on the flip side of everything I said, the biggest thing I want to see this year, and my biggest priority, would be to watch West Ham win the FA Cup and Mark Noble lift it as he leaves.
I think that makes more sense. There's no way we can go for
perfect
all cup competitions because we couldn't rotate in the Premier League.
Go out the first round of Europa, go out the first round of the League Cup, win the FA Cup, and Mark Noble lift that.
No,
mate,
there you
that
go,
would
mate.
Be the best season for me.
Possibly. I have always said, mate, the FA Cup still is that bit of glamour to me, and to win the FA Cup in my lifetime, for West Ham to win the FA Cup would mean a lot more to me than it was England to win the Euros, mate. And I'd give
again, wouldn't it mean more to you for West Ham to win the FA Cup than the European Cup? It would mean.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, it would.
That would be that's the what's the word I'm looking for?
It's nice being champions of Europe, but again, the Europa Cup has lost a lot of its glamour. And I know the FA Cup has done as well, but just that it's such an iconic trophy, mate. And when you're growing up, when you was a kid, we spoke about it when we done the FA Cup shows and we done Away Day Radio and all that. That FA Cup, it was, mate, it's such a part of my past and upbringing and everything else. There's nothing bigger than the FA Cup for me. They're the best games that I've gone to as a West Ham fan. I used to love them, mate. And there's nothing like cup football, especially the FA Cup. So yeah, for me, FA Cup would be the one.
And especially with it being Mark Noble's last season. And just on that, before I get crucified on social media later in the season, there will only be one home game I attend next year, and it will be the very last one, to pay my respect to Mark Noble.
It's fair play, mate.
I'll pay for a ticket, but I'll put money.
I will let you have my ticket for that day, mate. You're more than welcome to it.
No, you'll be
there.
You'll be there. I'm looking to hire a lounge for that day to take my family.
All right, we'll get that sorted. Do you think that we can do a top 10 finish this season, creating other teams are strengthening? I think that's a big point, mate, isn't it? That, if you stand still and other teams improve around you, then they'll jump above you. Can we have the same season we had last season? I think that would be a big ask. I don't think we pick up the same amount of points we do as we did last season this season if we've got exactly the same starting 11. I don't think you get as many points. I don't think so. No, I think you will slide backwards a little bit. I do think that would be around mid-table, though. I don't think it would be lower than sort of 11th, 12th. Top 10 would definitely be achievable. But
there's certainly worse teams than us. But the biggest thing we're going to come across, I think, is the amount of games, and I think that's
mate. It's what we've said. We said it last season, mate. If we had strengthened properly in January last season, we was well on course for getting Champions League football. There's no question. But the problem is, again, it's not about other teams strengthening. It's what injuries we get. We know that it only takes an injury to a key player, and we're going to go backwards. And that's such a shame that we're that thin.
Mate, you mentioned 2 players that Leicester have signed. that they didn't really need. But there's another one, Ryan Bertram. We know that we need a left back to replace Aaron Cresswell as well. Some people still don't rate him. There was an opportunity to have signed him. We ignored
Yeah.
it. Leicester have done that. They've got a proven Premier League player and a former England player signed and done. They didn't need him. But what they've done is they've been clever and they've put him into their squad, which will improve them, and it stopped anybody else getting him. Great
Yeah.
business, man. Great business. And we just fall behind. And we forever fall behind all the while these lot are in charge, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree. Right, it's time for a bit of a plug for fundraising, mate. And obviously, we are still under the Isla's Army banner at the moment. Unfortunately, Isla's Army didn't quite turn out to be what we'd hoped it would be. We'd hoped that more people would pick it up and sort of run fundraising under the Isla's Army banner, because it was never about me and you. It was an open platform for anybody who wanted to use it to do fundraising. I don't think we had one person use it, did we? So it was
Roger, in fact,
Roger
Roger
did use it,
first thing,
yeah.
and Roger used to jump on the tweet. But again, like you're saying, it was sad because there was a good following there. We proved that when we done the pound for Isla Day and that, and all it was for was for, as you just said, people to take over, use it. It wasn't for you and I; it was for her. Didn't happen, so we walked away from it.
Yeah, so tough. However, my dad, who many people may know, Michael Goodman, he is running the London Landmarks Marathon with Amanda Hobbs. It is a big thing for my dad to be doing that, because recently he'd come down with leukemia, was hospitalised, his lungs had collapsed, and he was a very, very poorly man. Wasn't looking good for a long time. However, he got put on a clinical trial, and that medication has brought him around, and he's doing a lot better at the moment. And he wanted to give himself a goal, something to achieve, because he just hasn't had anything to focus on for a long while. So he's decided to run the London Landmarks Half Marathon, even though he's only got half a lung, which I think he's mad. Putting me to shame, mate, because I couldn't even run round the block, let alone run a marathon. So
I don't think
if
I
he
could
can
walk
do,
it, mate,
well, this is what I'm saying. So if he can do it with half a lung, that puts me to absolute shame. So I need to sort myself out as well. But for him to be doing that is a massive, massive task in his health and the way he is. That is, mate, I compare that to like someone like myself trying to climb Mount Everest, mate. It's that bigger goal that he set for himself. He isn't going to try and do it in any sort of time. He's obviously going to plod around and isn't going to try and do it too quickly, but he's really going to try and get round and just make it through it, to be honest. And if he can do that, mate, then it is some achievement. So yeah, I hope everyone will support him. And we've changed the Isla's Just Giving page to Michael Goodman's name, Amanda Hobbs' name, and also give details about the London Landmarks Half Marathon. So if anyone can donate to that, it would be massively appreciated. Whether it be 50p a pound, it doesn't matter. All contributions are welcome. And I'll put a link underneath the video in the description when this video goes live on YouTube. So everyone can click on that link and do their bit. And he is also, because he was a carpenter by trade before his health meant he couldn't work anymore, he has been putting together some frame pictures and doing a few bits and pieces and making some nice bits up. He's got a seat from the bowling that he's putting into a bracket, so you can attach it to the wall and you can sit on it and so on. And he's also got a few other bits and pieces, just frame pictures and signed stuff and everything that we can put up on Isla's Army Twitter as well. So keep an eye out for those, because we'll be offering those out to raise a few quid as well. So yeah, just appreciate any support, mate.
Yeah, mate. Firstly, great news that your dad has come through that with the treatment. That's the main thing. And secondly, just an incredible gesture to do, considering he's only got the lung capacity he has, to help someone else as well. So, as my utmost respect, I've met your dad a couple of times and a great guy as well. I'll sponsor your dad £10 a mile for it.
Cheers, mate.
So whatever that, 13 miles in it. So I'll do that for him. I'll put that on the Just Giving page whenever he wants. And again, like Frankie's just said, if everybody could support him and Amanda, it would be fantastic. The money is going to obviously Isla via the Just Giving page. Everything now goes on to there. So whatever your support can be would be really appreciated. As Frankie said, a little update on Isla. I did speak to Nicola, funny enough, yesterday. I was invited to an event, but I didn't go. They're waiting to hear from her scans, which will be the end of August, what the next plan of treatment is. I also see Nicola put out that Isla has been accepted into school in September, which is amazing. So fingers crossed, she's doing all right and she can continue to have treatment over here, and I haven't got to take her abroad where she won't obviously get to go to school. And I think there's a plea going round through Isla's page that they want her to be mascot at one of the games next year. So hopefully that will all happen for her. Money will be raised to help her get the treatment she needs. But right now, as you said, Frankie's going to put the link out, and if we can help in any way, shape or form, even if you can't donate, please just hit retweet. It'd mean the world, and get the money in and support Michael in what is going to be a massive challenge ahead for him.
Yeah, thank you, mate. Do appreciate that. So, well, mate, you've been back. We've done another video. We ain't been about for a long time. Obviously, there's been a few people message on Twitter today, seeing if we'd come back and do a few. I think, obviously, life's changed for myself and you now. We're very, very busy, and it ain't going to be as easy to jump on and just drop everything to do videos at times. But I'm happy to jump on every now and then and say hello to everyone and do the odd video and update and so on. So, don't know about you, mate, but if you're up for it, then I'll happily jump in every now and then and
of
do a
course.
quick one.
And like I said in tweets earlier on to people, we met some great people. We had some great support. We had good fun when we had the phones. We had good chats. We had debates where the opinions were different. You know, it was good to be able to talk. Me and you have had shows where we thought different. I think we did earlier. We're saying in this, you know, it's not about. You keep saying it's not about you or me being right. It's about our opinions, and everybody has the right to voice that, and they're welcome onto our show at any time. Whenever we do one like they was before, and voice theirs. It's not about me and you. It's not about me and you earning money. It's about being West Ham fans and having a chat like you would in a pub. Unfortunately, we're not all in a pub, but this is the next best thing.
Well, we can be now, mate. It's freedom time, so we can get over there and do what we want to do. I'm looking forward to it, mate. And
I've put on too much weight. I can't be
mate, we're all right. We'll get you a vodka and slimline tonic. There's not too many calories in there, mate. You'll be fine. But yeah, mate, we met, like you say, we met a lot of good people on here. We had a lot of people who were, real regulars of ours, and we engaged with a lot. So any of those people who will be going over to West Ham, next season, give us a DM. And mate, I'd be more than happy to have a beer with a few people, because I want to have a beer with as many people as I can, mate. I feel like I've missed out on 2 years of life, and I've said that any opportunity I've got to do anything, I'm not saying no for the foreseeable future. So I went to every England game. It broke me. I've got to remortgage my house, but it was well worth it. And I will be going to every single West Ham game. I'll be getting up there at 9 o'clock in the morning. I'll be having breakfast in the cafe, and I will be mingling around for as long as possible and lapping it up and enjoying every single second of next season. So anyone who wants a beer,
I'm turning my phone off match days in, because I see what your tweet was yesterday, because I didn't follow you back.
Well, it's out of order. I couldn't believe you hadn't followed me, mate.
Mate, I followed you today. No, when we did, I only see it today, and that was only because you messaged me. I didn't even see it because you was rude with your language. You're not allowed to use them things on social media. Remember, I've got.
I know, get in trouble, mate. Get in trouble.
Sensitive content on mine.
This is it. Your sensitive content.
Oh dear.
Well, I've enjoyed it, mate. I've enjoyed being back. I've enjoyed having a bit of a chat. I've enjoyed having a bit of banter, mate. That's what it's all about for us, as you know.
And there's been a lot of comments, and we've missed quite a few, to be fair.
Give us a quick final prediction, mate. Give us Premier League final spot for next season. Where do we finish?
I can't until the.
Come on, man. Give me a clue.
I can't until the transfer window shut. At this precise moment, 14th or 15th.
14th, 15th. How far do? What round? If
Europa will get through the group, and then that'll be it.
Mm-hmm.
We draw a Champions League side and get in trouble. I think that's how it works. Don't even know how it works. I've never been interested in it. FA Cup, we're winning it. Mark Noble's lifting it. Carling Cup, we're out in the first round.
Nice.
If we get to build on the squad and we don't lose players, I don't think there's any reason why we can't finish 8th, 9th or 10th. I think it'd be a lot to ask to finish 16th for the amount of games, because I think to get there we'd have to add 6 or 7 players, and I don't think we're going to do that, if I'm honest.
That's
How
some
about you?
fairy tale, though, mate. You know, FA Cup, Mark Noble's last season, lifting that
That's the only thing
trophy.
I'm worried about. And I'll be
How
honest, and
fitting would that be?
this is really bad to say, and I probably don't mean it, but I don't think I'd care if we finished 20th if we won that and he lifted it. I don't think I'd mind at all. Just to watch him
Yeah.
go out on that, because that would be after the league's finished as well, and then he goes and does that. You'd forget you was relegated for a good while until the next season kicked
Yeah.
off.
No,
And
you're
then
right, mate.
it'd
You're
just
right.
be saying great for him because he deserves saying back from West Ham, I think,
Yeah.
until I know he's had a nice life and he's earned well and fair play to him, but he's made a lot of sacrifices at all. That's not at all as well. Yes, he's stayed loyal. If I'm honest, and I mean this with respect to him, I love him to bits, but I don't think he's a player that could have gone on to one of the top sides like a Declan Rice could.
Yeah.
But he stayed loyal to West Ham. There's been bad times he could have left like a lot of others did, but he ain't. He's been there. Even now, he's not moaning. He's not playing. You listen to him last year in his reports. I love being here and listening and watching the boys and getting the results. So it's great to be around. He was still influential, and you only had to look at that video, mate, on his birthday with what all the players done to him in the dressing room that day. That shows the togetherness there. Many players would have down tools and I'm out of it. I want to finish my career off and play elsewhere. He hasn't, and I respect him for that.
Mate, even in the friendly games, I watched that Reading game yesterday, mate, and he's still there. He's behaving like a captain. He's talking to everyone. He's on that pitch, and he even wants to win friendly games. So he's still got the desire in there. So
Yeah.
let's just hope he can find a second wind really for his career, just for one more season. I hope he can stay injury free. I hope he can find that bit of energy, get those legs moving, and not just win the FA Cup, but have a part to play as well, mate. I don't want to see us go. Well, I do, mate. I don't care whether Mark Noble don't play a game if we lifted the FA Cup, to be perfectly honest. But what I'm saying is, it would be nice for him to play his part as well along
Like
that journey, rather than just be the man who steps up there and lifts it. Do you know what I mean?
Come on in the 90th minute to take the penalty. Then
That will do, mate. That will do. That will do. We'll take that all day long.
Mate, you know our luck. If it was 1-1 in the 90th minute and we brought him on to take it, he'd miss it. That would be our luck.
Oh, mate, he wouldn't. He'd bury it. He ain't no Saka or Rashford, mate. He'd bury that penalty. He'd walk up there and smash it straight into the top corner. I've got every faith in him. So he's a man who takes a penalty properly. He don't piss around with all that little pigeon steps and all that before he hits the ball. So, no, I'd have every faith that he puts that ball in the back of the net, mate, and let's hope it happens. I don't think we're going to have a brilliant Premier League season. I think we've got too many distractions, to be perfectly honest.
Negative,
so,
Frankie.
No, I'm not, because I actually think what you just said, I think we'll get out the group stage. Mate, I ain't even see what teams we've got yet. We might get a complete group of death, but I think we get through the group stage in Europa. I think we're going to go and do some good things there. I think Declan Rice and Mark Noble leading the charge into Europe. I think we're going to do all right. And we've got players who've got that experience. Souček's been there, seen it and done it, mate. He's played a lot of Europa League football with Soufal and everything else. So I think we'll be all right. I think we're going to go and make a bit of a mark in Europe. So I'm looking forward to that. I think, like you said, FA Cup's got to be a big priority. League Cup, I think we can let that one go. And Premier League, I just think with all the distractions we've got and with the squad size we've got, I don't think we finish particularly high. I'd like to think we can finish 11th and 12th and not be looking over our shoulders at any point. The only thing I hope for the league next season is we're not at any point looking over our shoulders thinking we can fall into trouble here. As long as we stay out of that, then the other things can all go whatever, mate. So
do you think, as a fan, do you think it's going to be, because I've seen a lot of comments last year that West Ham done so well because the fans weren't there. Do you think fans being back is going to play a big part? Because I think fans,
mate, if the fans were there, we get Champions League football last season. I don't care what anyone says.
I think that, but
we would have carried us over the line.
Mate,
There's a difference. West Ham fans, we've always said it, only expect 100% commitment. And all I saw last season was 100% commitment.
Yeah.
And I don't think there would have been any, even in the games we lost and all of the games that we didn't do so well in, which weren't that many because we did fantastic last season. I don't think at any point we'd have ever got on their backs because we didn't have the Andersons. We didn't have the players like that. The only time West Ham fans ever get on anyone's back is if we don't see effort. And I think one thing we have got at the moment is plenty of effort. So,
mate, I agree with that. 100% I do. And you're right. That is, in my opinion, you're right. The question is not about the players or the manager. It's about the ownership. And would the fans been different in January last year when they didn't buy that forward that we needed, that we could have pushed on? Would there have been a bit more bad atmosphere in the ground? Will there this year if they don't this summer? we spoke on the phone earlier. All these people that are GSB out and protesting outside that aren't there during lockdown, and because West Ham are doing 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, whatever, you know, you got to do it if you're first or if you're 20th. Surely, you can't just want them gone when you're doing bad. And when
No,
you're
I
doing
agree with that, mate. I agree with that.
Stick with the team.
But I think West Ham are. I think those first few games back, I think the atmosphere is going to be rocking. I think we've all missed it so much. I think we're going to get in there and really back them big time, and show our gratitude for the season that we had last season, which was a welcomed bit of positivity throughout a very difficult time for many of us. So I think a lot of people are going to go and show that gratitude. I don't think there's anything that West Ham could do. I don't care if we went and lost the first 10 games. I don't think we'd get on their back badly. I think we'll still back them. I think we'll cheer them through. I do think there's a potential that, you know, we could get on the boards back. But, mate, we was doing that outside of the ground with it not affecting the insides before. So I don't buy it, mate. I think you can have that. In fact, those bits of sort of disregard for the board that we saw and the protest outside, if anything, it created a more stronger atmosphere when we went in the ground because everyone was up for it and wanted to prove a point that we're not going to let it carry over into the ground. So I don't buy that. But what I do think, and mate, this isn't me speaking and telling people what to do and how to support this football club because everyone's entitled to do it however they wanted. But I'm not going to sit on this channel in any of the videos we've got up and coming preaching GSB out because I enjoyed the ride last season and I'm looking forward to Europe. And I actually took my foot off the pedal and didn't continue with it. And I would feel a big hypocrite if I was sitting here now every tweet giving it GSB out when actually last season I was enjoying that ride and not sticking to me guns. And I think if you want your ball out, you can't just flippantly change your mind just because you're having half a decent season or you're having a good season. You've got to stick with it. So while I definitely still want them gone, I don't feel like I can be that GSB out merchant that I was last season at times on these videos because I didn't stick with it, mate, and I should have done.
I'm glad you said that because I think myself, I'd have been a hypocrite if, like, when they called me the other month or the other week and asked me to renew, did I want to renew if I'd done it? Just because we got to Europe. You know, I've given up my home and away season ticket. I gave it up last season, but they're still contacting me now to buy it. As I said, the only time I walk in that ground next year will be for the very last game of the season, home game for Mark Noble to pay my respect. It wouldn't be for any other reason. If I could walk in the 89th minute and just be there for the end, I would, but I'd like to be there because I think something like the John Terry situation where he was on the 26th minute, I think something like that could happen for Mark Noble on the 16th. Whether it's he starts and comes off then or he comes on then, I don't know, whatever. I think something like that might happen. So I'll be there for that game. I will go to away games here and there. But as I say, mate, I've got to be honest. I love going to Brockenhurst. I feel I get value for my money. I get appreciated from their club. You know, even down today, I had an email today to say the end of season awards is next Saturday as a thingy from the club, as a thank you from the club for your support and sponsorship last year. We'd like to invite you and have a table at the football club next week for the what do you call it? The awards night, which is lovely. You know, I bet you everybody at West Ham got nothing from them apart from can you pay your money?
Mate, we weren't even allowed to walk up and say hello to the players. We had a barrier put between us. We weren't even allowed to go and say hello.
And that's my point. And I don't think it's like that everywhere. And again, listen, it's only my views, and my views ain't right, but they're right for me. They're my principles, and I'll stick by it. I'm not telling anybody else what to do or how to do it. We, like you said, mate, we all do our own thing. I don't sit and call anyone out for still going and still buying kits. That's your opinion. That's your choice. It's fair play to you. We do things differently.
Well, I'd see you over there for a beer, mate, and a couple of Jaeger bombs. So I'll enjoy that.
No more Jaeger bombs.
You'll be all right. I'll liven you up when you get over there.
Mate, no, because I've seen you when you go in the pub and you order a round. So, no, I'm not going in. I'll have a beer and that's it. I'm not having nothing else. I don't do that no more.
You'll get in the spirit of it, son. We'll be something like Lazio at home and we'll be rocking over there from early doors, mate. We'll be 8 o'clock kickoff and we'll be over there from 9 in the morning. We'll be loving it.
Could you imagine it? And just even if we drew Millwall at home in the cup, I'd love to be there, but I can't be that hypocrite and go.
You ain't got to go in the ground. Just come in the pubs with me. You'll be fine.
Well, things like that can happen, yeah. I
That's
can
what
do
I'm saying.
that.
We'll be all good.
to meet a lot of people as well. Have been very good to me over the years.
Right then, mate, I'm going to get off. So really good
Before we
to
go,
see everyone again and in the chats, and appreciate everyone dropping in. Please don't forget, Dad's running that marathon. It's going to be a big task for him, so I appreciate it if anyone can do the donation. Link will be in the description below, so massively appreciate that. Anything, 50p a pound, all helps, so thank you very much.
Or a retweet if you can't.
Or a retweet, anything. Retweet the stuff that we're going to put out that you can sort of bid on or auction off or anything like that. All the retweets are also a massive help to us. So, yeah, just thanks everyone for jumping in and listening to us dribble on again. And good to see you all, and good luck for next season.
Start charging people to say our opinion.
I think we should, mate. Patreon.
No.
What do you think?
No.
No.
No, definitely not.
No.
Never. No one should ever listen to an opinion.
I need a bucket hat, mate. I've got to get myself one. I need one. I like that Ralph.
They've got loads of them.
Yeah, I'm going to get one.
Makes my face even rounder. Look, I love it.
Like a beach ball.
Mate, just quickly before we go, amount of tweets and texts I got. Well, not tweets. I went on Twitter. Texts I got at the football, the England game when what's his name? Rob Beckett was with that Lloyd Griffith, whatever his name was, off of Soccer. Just seen you, because he had a bucket out. And I want to know he was blue, mine was white. Anyone who asked, it weren't me. I was not with Rob Beckett.
Yeah. No, I just got some bad news, mate. I better go.
Let you go.
All right, mate.